My name is Jared Brock. I grew up in Lubbock, Texas, going to the Sunset Church of Christ there in Lubbock. My dad is a longtime football coach and teacher in the Lubbock area, and had instilled in me a love for the Bible. My dad, F. LaGard Smith's yearly chronological Bible, has read through that, I think, 21 years in a row now. And so I can remember being a fifth grader, getting up early and walking into the living room and seeing my dad reading his Bible. And never, that was just his own personal study, but it instilled in me a deep love for Scripture. I went to college at West Texas A&M to play football, actually. And when I decided what I was going to do, it was not going to be coaching like my dad, because I said I would never put my life in the hands of 15, 16, 17-year-old boys. I got my master's in accounting, and lo and behold, I coached for 3 years after that. And before my last year of coaching, we moved down here. I actually coached in Hutto for a year, got married before that last year, and the rigors of the football season coaching schedule and being a newlywed made me wonder if this is what I really wanted to do for the rest of my life. And around that same time, Christmas or whatever, while I'm wondering, I got asked if I would be interested in doing youth ministry. And so I've been, for the last 5 years, doing youth ministry at Marble Falls Church of Christ. And when I interviewed for that job, the expectation was that I would work on continuing my education. And that church there has a long-standing tradition of sending people to this school. And so I audited classes for a couple of years. Not for a couple of years, for a year. I audited about 4 classes or so. And when you audit classes, you don't really learn as much. So I didn't apply myself like I really needed to learn some stuff. And so I decided the next year that I would start working on the MATS program here. And that's been, I guess, 4 years ago when I started that. I'll finish next spring. I take about 2 classes a semester. With my full-time job, it makes it a little tough to do more than that. But it's been great. I've been really blessed by the school here, and each faculty member has taught me some unique things. And they each have their own little flavor. I'm sure if you've audited their classes, you know that, and has brought some unique things to the table. And I really didn't know what I was getting into. I can remember thinking when I was coaching that I would like more time to study and to be prepared and to study Scripture. And my mind here has been open to a whole new world of colleagues who are long dead, and to a new way of approaching Scripture that has been a real blessing. I was talking to Fred earlier about how learning foreign, Greek and Hebrew, new languages, has really helped me become a better translator, which is an interesting skill. I sort of think that's what I do anyway. I translate for the old people to the young people, and I kind of help the old young people understand old people language. Anyway, so it's been a unique skill, and I think very, very pertinent to what I do. I tell people that this is the last youth ministry job that I will take. It's a great church that I'm at currently, and starting a youth ministry job is a lot of work. Anytime you step into a new position, I'm sure y'all are aware, people don't trust you really. They're kind of curious if you're going to stay or that sort of thing. And so this is going to be, I think, unless God has something else in mind, which has been my whole life, right? I never really planned on doing youth ministry or coaching or any of that stuff. Weird, right? When you tell people you have a master's in accounting, but you do youth ministry. anyway, this place has been a real blessing, and the amount of study and the rigor of study with the time constraints is extremely helpful. One of the things I learned in accounting was how to decipher a large amount of information quickly, and I think that skill is important with our busy lives that we live, because we have the important work of teaching the church and teaching our people, and even in our secular jobs, when we step into those teaching roles, we need to be able to do that. And so I don't know that I will be in ministry long term. I've always sort of had this nostalgia of getting back into teaching, where there's a real fight in the public education system for morality and for truth and for what really a human person is these days. And so there's a place in my heart that really appreciates that avenue. And I think this school has just reorientated me to what is real. What does it mean to be a servant of God? And how do we communicate that to people and translate that message? I think of Paul's words from Ephesians, which I actually listened to a podcast of N.T. Wright talking about this this morning on the way here, and that is that our war is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers and against the principalities and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. Our war is against ideas, and there are many ideas at work in our culture for the destruction of our people. And we go to war, and you have blessed us here with this little special place, that a faculty that equips us to address those ideas in the world, to understand where they're coming from, their history, that they're not new ideas, they're old ones that have been around for a long time. And it's been a blessing. And so no matter where life takes me, or the twists and turns, I know that this place will have been a special equipping ground that the Lord has used to equip me for every good work in His kingdom, to speak truth into His people's lives, and to address those ideas that are at work for the destruction of the peoples in this world. And so I thank you for your contribution to making that happen, for supporting these people, supporting this place, and for enduring and helping little churches like mine in the Austin area, and Chris will talk to you from Mississippi, right? Change the world. And so it's been a real blessing. Thank you for that. Amen.